Welcome to Full Frontal. I'm Samantha B, and I have to say, it's nice to see America finally returning to normal. For example, this week, a man was arrested outside of Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonkin' rock and roll steakhouse after he allegedly swung his full colostomy bag at Nashville police officers, apparently for the third night in a row. I mean, good for Nashville having a 3 strikes and you're out policy for swinging your own shit. I mean, that's not me. That's their tourism slogan. Honestly, I would spend all of our show talking about this man swinging his full colostomy bag at Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonkin' rock and roll steakhouse. I really would. But since I can't, here's something else that makes me smile. Republicans eating each other alive.
Liz Cheney, the number 3 Republican in the House and the highest-ranking woman in the party, seems to be on thin ice right now, with top Republicans questioning whether she's still going to be in a leadership position in a month. Senator Mitt Romney also voted for impeachment twice, with Utah Republicans giving him a rowdy reception.
He's a person who says what he thinks, and I don't hide the fact that I wasn't a fan of our last president's character issues. And I'm also no fan.
Mitt Romney just got booed like he gave up true love. And that's not the only comeuppance some Republicans are facing.
A damning new report in the sex trafficking probe involving Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz. The Daily Beast says it has obtained a so-called confession letter from a Gaetz associate. Now, in this letter, Joel Greenberg claims that he and the Florida congressman paid for sex with multiple women, including a girl who was just 17 years old.
A 17-year-old girl. Jesus Christ, that is so awful. Not to mention, statutory rape. If you're not familiar with Matt Gaetz, are you actually watching our show or just leaving it on for your dog? I mean, that's cool. Either helps us. Matt Gaetz is one of Florida's representatives in Congress, and these new criminal allegations fit in with everything we already know about him.
When Matt Gaetz was a new member of Congress, he earned a reputation very quickly of being a close ally of former President Donald Trump's. He also liked to show his colleagues photos and brag about sexual exploits that he had with women.
He was the only vote in 2017 against a human trafficking law. Okay.
Gaetz reportedly invented a point system for sexual conquests. 1 for a lobbyist, 2 for a staff member, 3 for another legislator, and 6 for a married legislator. The top conquest was said to be worth 150 points. A woman considered so unattainable, she was worth 150 points.
That woman? Mary Todd Lincoln. You know what they say, you gotta work like hell if you want that MTL. Gaetz's behavior is universally gross. One Florida Democrat who got an inappropriate voicemail from Gaetz said he was one of the most extreme examples of bro culture. And that is coming from a woman who holds office in Florida. Her last political opponent was probably just a man swinging a full colostomy bag at Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonkin' rock and roll steakhouse. Fortunately, Gaetz's most recent allegations actually seem to be sticking, largely thanks to former accomplice and current snitch Joel Greenberg. Along with being indicted for sex trafficking last year, Greenberg was actually an upstanding local tax collector who also got indicted for crimes including stalking, identity theft, wire fraud, bribery, and using tax collector funds to buy himself cryptocurrency and Michael Jordan merchandise. The most up part? It was Michael Jordan baseball merchandise. So yeah, Joel Greenberg may be an enormous garbage pile, but at least he's a garbage pile full of receipts.
The source tells CNN that Gaetz's indicted friend, Joel Greenberg, has been cooperating with the Fed since last year.
Mr. Greenberg, we know, under investigation and under indictment himself in attempting to curry favor and get a pardon. He was attempting to put in documentary form a history with respect to what he was involved in, who he was involved with, his loyalty to the former president, etc. It went through, allegedly, again, many drafts.
Not only did Greenberg write a confession of what he did with Matt, he had screenshots of texts between him and Roger Stone talking about Gaetz and a pardon, and he left a trail of Venmo transactions detailing payments to young women. Not to mention the fact that every time he and Gaetz hung out, Greenberg wore a shirt that said, "I'm with also guilty." Greenberg claims that he and Gaetz didn't know the girl they allegedly raped was underage and that when they found out, there was no further contact with her until after her 18th birthday. Oh, they waited to be legal predators. Hey, assholes, even if you claim you didn't know you were raping a minor, you still did. Of course, Matt Gaetz has completely denied the allegations against him, and almost all of his Republican colleagues are still keeping quiet about the story. And while QAnon followers claim they're all about fighting jet-setting wealthy pedophiles, apparently it doesn't apply to old Funko Pop head, because he and Q favorite Marjorie Taylor Greene have decided now is the perfect time to team up for a tour. With opening act, that man who swung his full colostomy bag at Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk and rock and roll steakhouse. If the allegations that Matt Gaetz raped a minor are true, Matt Gaetz obviously deserves to go to prison. We have to remember that Gaetz has already been getting away with being publicly shitty for years. Matt Gaetz should resign, not just because of the newest allegations, but also because he's used his wealth and privilege to create a career revolving around hurting and humiliating women. In a fair world, Republicans would boo him the way they booed Mitt Romney. Okay, I'll be honest. I just wanted to see Romney booed again to cheer myself up. We'll be right back. Aw, thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more from Full Frontal, hit subscribe and visit our page for more videos. Or if you'd like to be radicalized, leave YouTube on autoplay.